Yesterday, we had Justina's father on. Justina is that girl that the Boston Children's Hospital, I contend, kidnapped. And now she's dying, and they've said, you can't speak out about it to the family. But what would you do? What would you do? And when I say they said that you can't speak out about it, Lou was on the air with us yesterday. And what happened? Today, the attorneys in Boston for DCF has filed that he be held in contempt of court for violating a gag order. Can I ask, would you violate a gag order if you thought somebody was killing your daughter? Do you have a right to speak out if you think somebody is killing your daughter? Isn't that a God-given natural right? I believe it is. I don't think any state has the right to take that away from you. But you're not living in the United States of America that you understand anymore. And everybody will say there's got to be something wrong with this family. There's got to be something wrong here. No, there's not. ABC just did a segment on this the other day, ABC Television, Good Morning America. They came to the same conclusion that I have come to. No, what's wrong here is Boston Children's Hospital and the state of Boston and Harvard University. That's what's happening here. I can't believe that Lou is coming on again, but he is on the phone with us now from Connecticut. Hello, Lou.
Good morning, Glenn. And again, many, many thanks to you and your team for spreading the word of Justina's nightmare.
So what happened? When did you hear? Can you even talk about any of this?
We're all in, Glenn. We're here to save my daughter, Justina.
Okay. So when did they call you and tell you, and what could possibly happen to you now?
I was actually at the train station, which was, speaking of another system, took forever to get back from New York to Connecticut last night. But I was at the train station waiting, and I got the email from my attorney that Mass DCF has filed the contempt of court for speaking to the media, which violates the gag order.
And the punishment for that is what?
It can either be a civil punishment, but it could be criminal.
So speaking out to try to save your daughter, you could, a civil punishment would mean they'll fine you.
Correct.
Which, good news is, I don't know if you know this, you don't have anything left anyway. So good luck collecting that one. But the other is you could go to jail. How long could you go to jail for?
Don't know.
Do you know now
Sure.
what's going to happen? I mean, how do you fight this? What do you have to go to court now? What, because you're
as of now,
doing it
we
again.
still have a regular court date session scheduled for February 24th, this coming Monday. I have not heard if we need to be there earlier, because the first time when this whole gag order issue came out, which was November 17th, I literally had to hop in a car and get to Boston within 2 hours to be in front of the judge. So who knows if they'll wait till Monday, the next scheduled court date, or they'll try to do something sooner.
All right, so tell me what else happened. Tell me, is there any good news that has happened since yesterday?
Well, again, as I said when we first got on, thank you so much. People have been flooding us, obviously, with donations, which God bless each and every one of you people out there, because we are fighting the two-headed monster, the ultimate David against Goliath, state of Massachusetts and DCF, Harvard and Boston Children's Hospital. And their pockets are pretty deep. So again, many, many thanks to everybody that's contributed.
Well, I want you to know, Lou, that I was in the meeting this morning, and we wanted to call and verify what we had heard, that, you were getting hit from DCF, and I instructed the Blaze and all of my entire, media empire, if you will, the Blaze Television, the Blaze.com, Blaze Radio, that this is the story that we are doing this story. And I will tell you that we've done this one other time before, and it was with Terry Schiavo. And so I pushed all the chips in the center of the table today, and we will do whatever we can to help right this wrong. And,
thank you so much.
Make sure she's not forgotten. I think they are literally trying to bury this story.
Because there's other pieces, too, that also need to come out. Because it's so hard to, even in an hour, to try to explain the length of what's going on. One of the things I didn't even mention, when Justina was 6 or 7, she had a stroke, which we didn't even know about. It was the left side of her brain. It was a massive stroke, severely impacted her short-term memory. So one of the things is stress, that little thing that we've been living with for the last year. For somebody who has a stroke and has mitochondrial disease, can push them over the edge. It could lead them to another massive stroke or
seizures.
Or worse.
Yeah. Well, is there anything that anything that we can do right now? Anything you want to share before we let you go and spend time with your attorneys, who I'm sure you're going to be spending time with?
Biggest thing is, as I said yesterday, there are people with the power to stop this now. The governors of both states, they'll hide behind their legal things, but the governors, the attorney generals, DCF commissioners, all have the power, executive authority, to stop this.
Do you have their numbers and everything on freejustina.com? Do you have?
They're out there. They've been posted. If you go to all the, there are other, along with free. The original site was A Miracle for Justina, which the judge even put a gag on that. Part of that November 17th gag order was we were not allowed to add anything to the A Miracle for Justina website. So many other websites have been spawned.
What do you mean you're not? What do you mean you're not allowed to add anything to that?
When that gag order was issued, first of all, we knew nothing of it. It was said in a sidebar, basically. We were just told to not add anything to the A Miracle for Justina. And then this whole idea that we can't speak to the media and all this stuff, was not said directly to us, which, I thought we had a thing called the First Amendment. And that's why we're at the stage we're at right now, making sure that we get the word out to try to save our daughter's life.
Lou, has Deval Patrick said anything about this at all? Has he brought this up? Has he mentioned it?
Not to me personally, but I've
to anybody. Has he spoken in the media?
No. If you just Google Mass DCF and Deval Patrick, he's had a few other things going on in his plate up there.
Yeah.
Kids, they're a third of the Mass DCF social workers not licensed. Kids dying left and right under their watch. You can just pick your they're trying to get rid of Olga Roche, the DCF commissioner, who Deval Patrick is backing to the nth degree. So I think that's been taking up a little bit of his time versus a story of a child that, not even from his state, that they have full control over.
Good news is people are starting to move here, Lou. Right now on Twitter nationally, the hashtag #FreeJustina is trending for the first time that we know of. And that's the people just starting to wake up on the story and just starting to hear about it. So at least there's some positive momentum.
Can I tell you something, Lou? I thought about this morning in the meeting. As you're sitting there in bed at night, if you're anything like my wife and I, we'll go to bed, and that's when we really start to talk. And I have to believe that there have been times when you have said, we have got to speak out. We have got to do this. We're going to post on Miracle for Justina. We're going to do it. And you had the argument back and forth, honey, you can't, because it'll make things worse. And if you make things worse, then what good are you? And we've got to keep the family going. I mean, you have had to have those conversations with your wife.
Many times, because it's a double-edged sword. Can something happen to me? Well, I'll take the bullet for that. But even more importantly, can they do something even worse to Justina, above and beyond what they've already done to her? She's defenseless. I said from the get-go, she's totally been treated differently than any other patient when she was at Boston Children's. That's verifiable and identifiable. Hidden, holidays and things where everybody else could see their families and talk to them. She was never allowed to see or talk to them on Easter, Mother's Day, you name it. So tell me that they haven't had their own agenda for Justina from the get-go.
Lou, people are going to start listening to this probably for the first time. This will start to hit people in a different way. And I know my wife said this. I know Pat's wife said this. I don't know if Stu's wife said this, but when we went home and we said this to our wives the first time, each of our wives said, that can't be. There's got to be something.
This is America.
It's America. There's got to be something we don't know. Could you just address that for anybody who is hearing this for the first time, that say there's got to be something about the family. There's got to be something here that's not being told.
The bottom line is you look at two key components of this situation. Number one is the doctor who diagnosed her, Dr. Corson from Tufts Medical Center. He's the one that officially diagnosed Jessica, Justina's older sister, with a medical a biopsy to prove that she has mitochondrial disease. So Dr. Corson, who's been treating her successfully for almost 2 years, has not been allowed to have any involvement in her care. Number two, the doctor she came to see, who transferred from Tufts to Boston Children's just a month earlier, who Dr. Corson wanted her to see because he was involved with her whole stomach scenario, her GI system, was involved with putting in the cecostomy tube, which really saved her life because she wasn't able to go to the bathroom. He has been blocked. I mean, when Justina was taken over by Mass DCF, roughly on February 14th, about a week later, Dr. Flores tried to go see her. My wife was in the room, my other daughter, we were downstairs and visiting. Dr. Flores came into the room, gave my daughter a big hug, gave my wife a big hug. In the blink of an eye, a social worker came into the room, literally grabbed Dr. Flores by the collar and dragged him out, saying, "You are not allowed to see this patient. You cannot be in here."
How can a social worker stop
a social worker
physician from seeing a patient? That's inconceivable. That's amazing.
It's all verifiable.
Wow.
This is the world we've been fighting. This is the world we've been dealing with. It's like at times you wonder, is the whole world crazy and we're the only sane ones, or maybe we're the crazy ones? You get to a point where left and right just don't, nothing seems to add up anymore. You know, and the last piece, and I have to repeat this, is regarding this gag order. The largest newspaper in Massachusetts came to us back in April because there was many other people this had happened to. We were going to be the final piece to this story. And everybody knew that this newspaper was going to be printing a story. DCF, legal system, the judges, but no gag order. It wasn't until the local Fox Connecticut station aired the story on November 17th, 7 months after the Globe announced they were going to publish a story, that a gag order came out. So why was there no gag for 7 months when the largest newspaper in Massachusetts was going to print something, but then Fox Connecticut is going to air something and all hell breaks loose? Those are the things that just make you shake your head, among so many other things.
Lou, thank you so much. We'll talk again.
Glenn, Stu, God bless America.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye. I notice here, and I think this is important to point out, he didn't thank Pat.
No. That's twice now.
I know.
Pat's done nothing.
He's done nothing. He's not.
He's a big zero on the story.
I'm about to turn on him.
You know, Boston Children's Hospital has a great point here.
You know, I mean, it's a world-renowned hospital. I don't know if you know that.
Wait a minute, Pat. What happened? You won't say it.
There's got to be something else. Think about it. This is America. Oh, that's just
so. Every time you
agonizing.
Talk to him, every time we talk to him, do you get stronger, or is what happened?
He's provided nothing to doubt him, and you know, usually over this long of an interview, over several days, you'd find something.
You would. Has he seemed unreasonable?
No.
Oh, absolutely not. No.